ta'wilul khas, with the special, perspective of the time when they were revealed. People who were being directly addressed. If we place the ayah or the surah in that context, and then we try to understand what was the meaning of this ayah or surah, which the people understood at that time, at that particular moment in history. And secondly, because this Quran is meant for the whole of humanity, for all times to come. It was not sent only for the Arabs. It was not sent only for the Christians or the Jews of the times of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the whole humanity. So actually we have to understand the Quran secondarily in a generalized way. That is called the ta'wilul aam. Look to the words, what they mean, and just don't keep them bound with the background, historical background. Take it away from that background. And as such, you think over them, ponder over them, dive deep into their meanings, and try to generally infer from it the total and the final and the eternal guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for the humanity at large. Now lastly, the sequence of Quranic surahs in the Mus'haf that we read and recite, and the sequence in which it was revealed, these two are absolutely different. The sequence of revelation and the sequence of the Mus'haf, the book that we have, these two sequences are absolutely different. As we know, the Makki surahs, basic principle is that they were revealed at Makkah. They were revealed earlier than the Madani surahs. But we find in the Quran, in Mus'haf, that the four Madani surahs, they are in the very beginning of the Mus'haf. Suratul Baqarah, Suratul Al Imran, Suratul Nisa, Suratul Ma'idah. Four longest Madani surahs are in the beginning of the Quran, although we know they were revealed after 12 years from the beginning of the Wahi. So the sequence of Mus'haf and sequence of revelation, they are different. Now we must understand how Quran was collected and how it was compiled. The collection and compilation of Quran, it was completed in 3 stages. First of all, the Quran was compiled in a sequence during the lifetime of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through the divine guidance of Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam. Whenever the ayat were revealed, the Prophet said to the people who were writing these ayat, there were certain people, certain companions, who were assigned the duty of writing them, Katibin-e-Wahi, we call them, who used to write those ayat, that put these ayat after such and such ayat of this surah. The sequence was going on as they were revealed, not in the sequence of revelation, but in the sequence of this Mus'haf that we have today with us. And this compilation of the Quran was completed in the lifetime of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some people have cast some doubt about it, but actually it's agreed upon. It's absolutely proven fact that the compilation of the Quran was complete during the lifetime of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it was done by him. But it was only in the hearts of the people. It was not in the form of a book like this. It was not collected in a book. People had remembered the whole of the Quran, and that was with the sequence. And we know it from very confirmed traditions that in every Ramadan al-Mubarak this month, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam used to come and recite the Quran, and along with him, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he also recited in the same sequence. So as Quran was being revealed, the sequence was also being fixed side by side. And in the last Ramadan of the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the whole recitation of the whole of the Quran was completed twice. So that sequence of the surahs and ayat was completed, and compilation was completed in the lifetime of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, although there was no book form of this Quran in the days of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But it was collected in the form of a book within 2 or 3 years after the death of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Because we know it, It was done during the caliphate of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And his period of caliphate is only 2 years and a few months. So within this period, this was collected in Mus'haf also, in a book form also. And then thirdly, during the time of the caliphate of Hazrat Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, it was written down in a particular script. And that script we have now, this is called Rasm Usmani. This script was decided by Hazrat Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. But only script. Agreed upon script was also prepared, and this was also within a quarter of a century of the death of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because you know, Hazrat Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, his period of caliphate is 12 years. Add to it the 12 years of Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. So actually, before the completion of 1/4 century, after the death of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, an agreed script was also prepared, and now we have the copies of that script all over the world. This is called Ar-Rasmul Usmani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Now, a few words about the basic terminology about Quran. The unit of Quran is called ayah. We don't call it a sentence. We don't call it a verse. Some of the writers use this word for Quran, but as far as I think, we shouldn't use it. Neither the word sentence nor verse. We have to keep this word ayah. It's very unique. Ayah means a sign or a symbol. Actually, every ayah of Quran is a sign or symbol of the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we cannot substitute any other word in its place. We have to keep it, and because during this translation of the Quran, I'll be keeping this terminology. That is why I'm explaining in the very beginning. Ayat, ayat. But if ayat, you know, if there is full stop after that, we call it ayah. So these are fundamental things, you know. Ayah and ayat is the same. And the plural is ayat. Now, ayat, you know, they are very small also, very large also. We have, you know, haruf muqatta'at. They also go to make ayah. Hamim, it is ayah. Alif Lam Mim, it is ayah. Then Wal Asr, it is ayah. Innal insana lafi khusr, it is again an ayah. And then there are ayat in which you can have 10 sentences. Ayatul Kursi, for example, a very big ayah, one of the biggest ayats of the Quran. So actually, these ayat, you know, they are not based on any grammatical or any other logical, on a principle of logic or grammar. This is based on as Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. And we call it, in this terminology, tawqifi. These